What if you had minutes to evacuate? Is your bag ready, or are you hoping you'll never need it? Hope is not strategy. Most bug out bags either hopelessly underpacked or filled with useless gear. It's not about fear, it's about competence. In our full workshop, we cut through all the noise. We show you exactly what you need, why you need it, and how to pack it to get out alive. Stop guessing and start preparing. Get the knowledge you need. Order the complete workshop. The link is in the description below.
I got a career in law enforcement, a career in corrections, and a career in security. I won't go into what departments or how depth, how deep it is, but I've done all those things probably the last 40 years of my life. So we all kind of know what we're talking about a little bit. Okay? So I'll let Aaron go ahead and introduce himself.
Okay. My name's Aaron Olinger. Been a resident of Dayton, Ohio all my life. My parents, when I was 4 years old, started training me in basically survival, camping, gardening, everything. So I've had a lifetime of training in it. And each and every year I try to find 4 to 6 classes that I can take. I just recently took a CPR class, for example. 5 years ago, I took a combat medicine class. Just come in, find your spot. I've studied 4 different systems of martial arts. I'm an avid sportsman, camper. Like I said, I'm constantly seeking knowledge. I like sharing knowledge with people. So going with your flyers that I put out there for you, those could be used as templates if you decide to build your own kits to give you an idea of things that you can put in them. But you must personalize the kit to suit your needs. So keep that in mind. Basically, we'll start off with a little history of the bags. Red Cross actually designed the first bags. They deal with a lot of refugees around the world. So it was better when people showed up to the refugee camps if they brought essentials with them. Then FEMA got into it and started pushing the issue of everyone having a bag. But right now, if you've got just regular TV and not cable, Red Cross is currently running a commercial almost every hour out. Yeah, about every hour on regular TV where they're advising Americans now to be prepping for what could be coming in just ahead. If you don't have regular TV, then you're probably missing that information, but every country around the world is telling their people to start to prepare. And preparation is your responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility to come and save you. And the history of the bags were originally centered around 72 hours, which meant you were going to be on your own for the first 72 hours. Now we know from the Dayton tornadoes that it was 3 weeks before FEMA even showed up. And if it wasn't for people giving out free food and water and used clothing, a lot of people would have been really up the creek without a paddle. But the bags essentially give you the essentials to make it through a situation. There's an old saying in the survival community that the first 3 days is hardcore survival. After the first 3 days, then you start to, on day 4 and on, you're building a life worth living from that point forward. Okay? So, going with the bags, you got to consider, I'm gonna say 5 different types of bags or kits. You have an EDC, which is your everyday carry. Okay, that could be small as an Altoid can with some essentials in it and a pocket knife on your hip. And it could be as big as this bag that I have right here. Okay. Then the next bag you would have would be your get home bag. That's one of your most common bags. It's a bag that you keep in your car in the event. They call it a GHB. You keep that bag in your car at all times. If you're at work, coronal mass ejection from the sun with high EMP, or our enemies use an EMP weapon against us, and your car will not start and you have to walk home from work, that bag will definitely be this size and could be up to this size. This is actually a medic bag that I converted. This would be a medium ruck. So that would keep you with enough gear and essentials keep you alive in the field for a day to a day and a half. That's what that has in it. Then you get into what they call a bob. It stands for bug out bag. Up north we call them bobs, down south they call them good, which stands for get out of Dodge, okay? And that would be a bag, that would be these two here. Now you could go with something like this, but if you go with this size, your bushcraft skills have to be really top notch if you're gonna go with a bag that light and that small. Now your last bag is called an inch bag, I-N-C-H. It stands for I'm never coming home. The situations like Chernobyl's done happen, or you live overseas and ISIS is coming down the street with their military and you gotta leave now, and chances are you're never coming back. So that would be a bag of these two here size, which would be about 50, 55 liters, to a much bigger bag that can go up to probably 70 liters. And what you equip that bag would be essentials to help give you an advantage on staying alive in the event you cannot return home. Okay, does anyone have any questions at this point? Okay, now you may ask, well, how much should my bag weigh? All right, idealistically, 28 to 33% of your body weight is going to be the perfect bag weight. It's lightweight and you can move fast, you can cover more distance. Unidealistically would be 35 to 45% or 40% of your body weight. Now, this bag here is my personal. I'm 275 pounds. Idealistically, the bag should weigh about 30 pounds. But I believe in my comfort, so about 40% of my body weight, this bag weighs 60 pounds. And your physical limitation is going to determine how much weight you can carry and your personal stamina. Now, if you're an elderly person, you can get a wagon, you can get a big bag with wheels on it, and you can put a strap across your body and you can pull that behind you. But you're going to be greatly limited to roadways or smooth pavement areas. Now, but he was talking about, and I got this from the military, I go with 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I'll have 2 of anything is better than just 1 of something. Because if something breaks down, if I've got 2 guns, the same make and model, one breaks down, it becomes spare parts to keep the other one running. You know, if I got 2 people together, working together, I always have someone that can watch my back. So I've got redundancy built into a lot of these kits where one method fails, like say starting fire, I have multiple methods built in of being able to make a fire. But going to the bags, now you can get bags as high as $200 to $600 something. They're molded, they have frames, some internal frames, some have external frames. I'm assuming everyone in here is budget, so you may only want to put a certain amount of money into a bag. A bag this size here is going to run you about 40 bucks. This could be 42 to about 48. Both of these would be about $55. Okay. Now, some of the qualities that you want to look at, you want to check to see if the stitching is double stitched. And when you pick up the bag, snatch on it. I mean, really pull. Because the last thing you want to find out is that it's just single stitch, not double stitch. And you're running for your life and one or both straps breaks on you. That you don't want to be in that situation. So check that. On most rucks, they're not going to have a frame at all. Frames cost extra money, but they will have compression straps on the side. You'll want that. You want padded shoulders so it don't dig into you so bad. And if you can, if it's got padding in this area here that fits against your back, you're going to want that padding. If it has no padding and you put a change of clothes in your pack, put it closest to fit against your back. Otherwise, it's going to work you to death. And crucial, if you're buying a rucksack, is this chest strap, okay? Without that, this thing, if you're moving any speed at all, or you try to jog run, them straps are going to keep sliding down, sliding off, and it's aggravating as hell. Then your waist strap here is key because it helps your hips to be able to support the body weight. I mean, the weight of this pack. On the real expensive packs, this thing would be molded. It would come out like a seat and then hook in front of you, and it really carries that weight so that your shoulders aren't carrying all that body weight itself. And then at the very bottom, down here, you have these two straps here so that you can carry a tent or be able to carry your sleeping bag, okay? So those are some of the qualities that you want to look for. Now, when you put your bag together, a good general purpose bag is going to handle about 11, say, categories. And your first 3 is going to be water, food, and shelter. So you want to have the ability to have water, the ability to be able to purify it, and be able to carry it with you. Okay. On food and cooking, you want to be able to have food in the bag to get you through a period of time, and watch the weight, because canned goods are the heaviest, freeze dried is the lightest. Watch that weight. But food, and then have some sort of means to be able to make a hot meal. Okay, that's crucial again, even for morale, or if you're in the winter time or something, being able to get that hot meal is going to be crucial. And then shelter, have the ability to have a tent or something that's going to get you in and out of the elements. Okay, now the cheapest tent you can buy are these emergency tube tents. They're about 15 to 20 bucks. All you need is some string formed between 2 trees or whatever, and that fits easily down into your kit. Okay, this would be called a get-home bag, all right? On the side here, I have a military IFAC. It's an infantry first aid kit. But I added a couple items to the kit, which I added a tourniquet. If you get any sort of wounds to your limbs, you need this. I also added to it some Neosporin. I got another tube down in here of Cord-Aid cream to handle itches or rashes or anything that I start to get. But outside of that, this handles most things that I'll be fronted with. In the top pocket, I have something called, these are compressed towels. Is anyone familiar with these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what is it?
It's called a compressed towel.
Compressed towels.
I'll show you what it is.
Water.
Okay. It's about the size of a dime. Put it in a little cap little water. Put some more in here. Because remember, one of the things that you have to be able to cover in the field is going to be hygiene, first aid hygiene. If you have to clean a wound out or something, these, when you add more water to them, let me add a little bit more water here, they start to open up, and it gets big enough that you can use it as a washcloth, a little small washcloth. They're real strong. Well, I don't know that too hard, but you can wipe your face, you can wash your hands, you can clean wounds with them. If pressed, you can just pull it apart before you put water to it. You can use it for fire tender. Anything that's multi-purpose automatically goes into the kits. Okay. If necessary, you don't have TP, this can be used for TP. Okay. This is what they call a life straw. I can go up to a water source. It's a giant straw. Put this end in my mouth, flip that end off. I can go to a creek or river, put that end down in it, and I can drink the water. It makes it safe where I can drink it. Now, if the water's full of particles, real muddy, you can see debris floating in the water, I'd take a piece of that bandana, put over the bottom, hold to it to filter that out, and then I'd go ahead and hit it there. Because these are good for 1,000 gallons of water. But if it fills up with particles, you might only get 5 gallons out of it. So if you can keep the particles out of it, by pre-filtering it. You can use a sock, you can use stockings, anything to cover that up to keep the debris out would be to your advantage. But you can get these at Walmart or Myers. They're anywhere from $19 to about $25. But if you wait until a situation happens, they could be $50 or $100. Okay. I carry 2 bottled waters. Bottled waters are 16 ounces. To stay hydrated, I will drink 8 ounces at a time. Now, once they're empty, do I throw them away? No, because if I get to a water source, I can just fill it up and I can utilize it. How can I make that water safe to drink? I have water purification tablets. You see, 2 is 1, 1 is none. If this method doesn't work, then this will get it. If this filter don't get it, then the water purification tablets will.
Mentioned about power source, the solar power. So in the back of my get home, outside my get home bag, I actually have one on each one of mine. So a certain amount of sunlight offer me a certain amount of power for a certain amount of time. They're pretty cheap. You can't beat them, I'm telling you. Yeah, and so it's capable of charging my phone or some other electronic device. It has connections for it. So when you mentioned that, I wanted to make sure you saw that. The other thing I want to say real quick, you know, you talk about things being multi-purpose. Well, we have, I would call them minor incidents of civil unrest. When you see somebody blocking a highway or blocking the street. So my daughter, she goes to UC. So one of the things I worry about is them having some kind of protest and my baby trying to get to her place or trying to get home and they got the highway blocked. So I made sure that she has either some bear spray or a riot spray in the car. And what I suggest that she does is roll down the window just enough, and she has a mask, and outside of that window, slowly spray and go left to right, and just let her foot off the gas if the car keep going. Because they're gonna move. I'd rather do that than have you stay there and somebody scare you to death and pound on the window. Next thing you know, you hit the accelerator and they didn't want to charge you for running over 6 people. So for everything you try to do good, always remember, I tell people all the time when I was a cop, for every law or right you think you have, there's a law to counter that. So keep that in mind. So even in doing the right thing, you can be subjected to the wrong consequence. So I just want to say that. So it's a multi-purpose thing. So I believe in having something like this in the car, in the door panel all the time. You know, especially if you know you're just not the kind of person that can handle certain stressors. So just keep that in mind. So the things he showed you that are multi-purpose, use them for multi-purpose.
A lot of people will lead you to believe, oh yeah, you get into a survival situation, go out into the woods, and it's all glorious. You're gonna live one with nature. There's gonna be fairies sprinkling pixie dust and fairy dust on you. You are what they call them, homeless, and you're living like a refugee.
Yep.
It's hard life, and that's the reason why I said I believe in my comfort. I try to have as much stuff as I can to make my life as easy as possible. Like we said earlier, the first 72 hours is hardcore survival. After that, you're working to try to build a life worth living from that point forward.
Now I'll remind you of this. Don't leave your home if you don't have to.
Yep.
Because your home is your sanctuary. You know everything in your home. You know what's around your home. You know your neighbors, hopefully. One of the things we talk about all the time on the podcast, you know, one thing that doesn't happen when I was a kid, we knew everybody in the neighborhood. My parents knew Mr. Selden who lived a block over, street down, Mr. Piner who lived, you know, you knew everybody. Today, you don't even talk to your neighbors. But you need to find like-minded people, you know, people who have some of the kind of same ideas you have. And I ain't gonna say it's a realization for me, but they may feel different. But you need to find people that kind of think like you and kind of build a little coalition. You know, people you can barter with, people that, you know, so Aaron might be a guy that has food supplies. I might be a guy that has the weapons that you need, you know. You know what I mean? So you need to build a little coalition of people and start doing that now. And that could be for everything. I'm serious, for everything. You know, if you have a storm that wipes you out for a few days, you know, I just bought another generator. And people, it's one of those things people don't think about until they need it. Then it's too late when you need it.
And then last but not least is going to be communication. You should have some ability to communicate. You do need a radio to get government reports, but to get in touch with family members or loved ones, when the power grid goes down, most of the cell towers, I say at least a third of them, have battery backups that will last 72 hours. And then after that, you're not going to have anything. And that's if your phones don't go down immediately. This is what they call a GMRS radio. This is Citizens Band. The best is ham radios. Now, even though when I bought this one, it said 36-mile range, it doesn't work like that. If I got on top of a building and to the person that's 36 miles away, it's unobstructed, no buildings, no trees, no hills in the way, I can get 36 miles out of this. But if there's anything blocking it, I'm not getting nothing. And let's say I'm in a basement or in a parking garage and we're underneath surviving 2 levels, you'll barely be able to reach the surface because any obstruction along the way will block your signal.
What do you think about the satellite phones?
There's one out called Rapid Radios that you see on TV all the time. And Rapid Radios has an Achilles heel. It runs off the cell towers. So even though you can talk clear across the nation, you got all this range, the cell towers go down, those are going to go down. And they don't tell you that. Just